me tell you this. The older you do get, the more rules are gonna try to get you to follow. You just gotta keep living, man. Livin.
Warriors embracing the hustle. A podcast that challenges your viewpoints and mental willingness. Here's your host, Jake Rarrett.
Thank you guys for tuning in to this week's episode of Warriors Embracing the Hustle. It's been a long time. I've been gone. I've been on a trip back home, which I'm going to talk a lot about this week. It's been about 2 weeks since I put out an episode, and I apologize about that. But I've had a lot going on, and I just felt like I wanted to wait until I could put out quality content, some genuine content, instead of just recording something that wasn't very passionate or wasn't all there. I didn't have the energy. So I waited until I was ready to put out a good episode. I just got back. I flew in 2 days ago, and now I'm ready to put out some content for you guys. So sorry about the wait, but I'm here now, and I'm ready to get this thing going. Like I said, this week we're going to talk a lot about what it feels like to go home after being away for so long. And I mean, it wasn't really even that long. It was only a couple months, but for some people that's a long time. For me, it's not really. I don't really get homesick or anything like that, and I've kind of created a new home out here. So, you know, it was just a little trip to head back to see my friends and family. Originally, I bought the tickets thinking that I would leave a lot of my junk. Initially, when I moved out here, I'd leave a lot of my junk back home and then fly back and bring some of it back then. But I didn't. I just spurred the moment, packed up all my stuff and brought it out here originally. So I just had these tickets laying around to go back and see my family. It was a good time. You know, it was really heartwarming to see family and to see how proud they were of me for chasing my dreams. And, you know, immediately right after I got off the plane, I went to my brother's grad party, and there was family all over, you know, just bunches and bunches of family. So that was nice to just be greeted by a bunch of people right away. And it was really great to just see people that I haven't seen in a long time. You know, it's nice to always get a little bit of heartwarming when you go home and just feel that peace. And, you know, it's great to see how proud they are of me as well. I had an aunt who was talking to me who started shedding tears because she was so happy for me. And, you know, that's great. You know, I'm glad that not only am I out here chasing my dreams, but I'm making other people feel happy and inspiring them to chase theirs. So that's great. And I'm glad that we had that conversation. And, you know, not only did I see a lot of family, but I also spent time with friends that I haven't seen in a while. That same day that I flew in, I went to see my friends, Landon, Riley, Nerman, and Mackenzie. Landon and Riley have a house, and they invited me over. And it was really great to spend time with them and, you know, just enjoy the moment and be back home and be in the places where I spent a lot of my life. It was great to be around the people that I spent a lot of my life with as well. So it's great to kind of have that little heartwarming, that little welcoming, and I give them props. Thank you guys so much for having me over and spending time with me. I'm really thankful for the friends that I have that took time out of their day just to welcome me and to spend some time with me while I was back for a couple of days. So thank you guys for that. And, you know, I hope that I'll keep coming back, but, you know, it's also one of those things too where I wasn't necessarily dreading going home, but at the same time, I wanted to stay out here and I wanted to keep continuing chasing my passion and being in this paradise of LA and the great weather and different things like that. But luckily back home, they had some great weather as well. So it just it made it all worth it. But seeing my friends is what really made it worth it, because they gave me that happiness and that joy of being around them and feeling like I was content and I was there for them and things like that. So it was nice. It was really nice, and I thank them guys again. Shout out to you guys for the support and the love on this podcast. It's been great. It's also crazy too to see my friends who are my age, 22, getting married and having kids and things like that. And props goes out to them. I'm glad that they have found that dream and that goal in life to push forward and build a family and be a family man and different things like that. Props to them. It's crazy to be able to do that at such a young age, but I'm glad that they have found that light in life, and I'm glad that they have moved forward with what they want to pursue in life, which is something that I'm doing as well. I've moved forward to pursue my dreams, and in order to do that, some things like that, like building a family and buying a house and things like that, have been pushed to the side. But eventually one day, that's where I'll be, hopefully. But right now, I'm just chasing my dreams and trying to become the best person I can be, and continue to find out what I really want in life. And I think once I really find out what I really want in life, that's when things like that will come along and they'll lead me to the direction that I need to be in eventually. So like I said, it's crazy to see that, but I'm glad that they are pursuing their dreams and chasing what they really want in life. And sometimes, God and different things, higher powers give you kids and houses and different things like that to settle you down, to make you a better person. And I'm not sure if that's exactly what happened in this situation, but sometimes it's needed to have those things happen in order to grow and to build and to chase your dreams. So props goes out to them. This week I'm going to talk a little bit about other topics that I talked about in the past. I'm going to follow up on the World Cup. Got a write-in here. Talk about the t-shirts that I'm selling. Talk about how I'm talking to sponsors and agents and different things like that, to pursue and to expand this podcast a little bit more. So I'm going to talk about that, how I'm going to talk to them. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the paintings that have been going on in LA and the murals that they've been putting up for Lebron. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the guests that I lined up while I was away. With this little break in the 2 weeks, I was still reaching out to people, trying to get people on. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and we'll go from there, guys. So this week, I'm going to try a lot to quit saying That's one thing that I've noticed from watching past podcasts and different things like that is I go to that word all the time when I don't know what to say. I just say and I'm going to try and stay away from that. I'm going to try to continue on with my speaking and without thinking too much about that word. So if I catch myself saying I'm sorry, and I'll stop for a second, but from now on, I'm going to try and just keep it rolling. And that's one of the things that'll make this podcast better, because it'll keep the content more original and it'll keep it more flowing and easier for the listener to listen to if I'm not saying it all the time. So the next thing that I said we're going to talk about here is the World Cup follow-up. 2 episodes ago, I had my friend Nerman call in, who is a huge soccer fan, and he was really big into Croatia this year, and it was a great pick, like an amazing pick. Croatia came down to the final. They made it all the way, which is really crazy for the amount of teams that are actually in it, for Croatia to make it to the final. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was their best finish ever in a World Cup. So props go out to Croatia. They didn't end up winning. They lost 4-2 to France in the final, and France has always been a powerhouse. They always are in the final. They always are winning World Cups. So it's nice to be able to make it to that point. But when you go up against a team like that, you kind of have to play your best game, because they're always going to bring their A game. So like I said, just a follow-up on the World Cup, Croatia lost 4-2 to France in the final. For all the people who were watching the last couple episodes, thank you guys for watching, and I just want to give you guys a follow-up on that. So congrats to France, and we'll keep it rolling from there. So after that, I got a little write-in here. As you guys know, I take calls and write-ins. If you want to send me a write-in, you can send it into warriorsethjake@gmail.com. If you want to call, you can call in at 626-399-6583. Call me up, leave a voicemail, and I will definitely play you on the air, and I'll give you my take on whatever you call. So let's get into it. This write-in this week. Hey, Jake, it's Tyler from Sioux City, Iowa. And Sioux City, Iowa is about 4 hours away from my hometown. It's on the border of Nebraska and Iowa. So, Tyler, let's hear what you got to say. Thanks for writing in as well. I've been listening to your podcast, and I like how genuine and passionate you are about your craft. What's your take on Demar Derozan bashing his old team after being traded? Thanks, and I'll continue listening. And thank you, Tyler, for writing in. That is great. I really like when people write in or call in because it gives me more topics and a broader horizon of different things that I can talk about and different viewpoints and opinions that the listeners can hear as well. So it's nice to always get questions or opinions on different topics that I talk about. So if you're an avid listener out there and if you support this podcast, please call in or please write in just to keep this thing rolling. And I appreciate all the write-ins and calls that I've had in the past episodes because, it's made this podcast what it is today. So I want to hear from the listeners. And Tyler, on your topic today, you asked me what I thought about Demar Derozan bashing his old team. And for those of you who don't know, Demar Derozan is a shooting guard who played for the Toronto Raptors. And he got traded to the San Antonio Spurs this last week. And after that happened, he went on ESPN and different media outlets and talked about how he felt that it was disrespectful and his loyalty meant nothing to the team and how that he shouldn't have been traded and how the team was garbage because they don't want anything to do with him and different things like that. A lot of hate and hostility towards his old team. And, I've thought a lot about this. I've listened to a bunch of different interviews, and I've definitely seen it all over the media about how he has done this. And it's kind of, to me, it's disrespectful on his behalf because the league is a business, for one. For one, the league is a business. The teams are going to chase whatever direction they think they need to go in and whatever direction they think is best for the team. So if you're not included on that, it is what it is. It's a business. They're going to do whatever they think is best. So they did trade. So what happened was they traded him for Kawhi Leonard. And Kawhi Leonard is one of the top, in my opinion, top 5 players in the NBA right now. So you're giving up DeMar DeRozan for a top 5 player. And it seems like on the Raptors side of it, it's the greatest trade they could have made because you're getting rid of your main ball handler to bring in one of the best ball handlers in the NBA. So I think it's great it was a great trade on their behalf. So for him to disrespect the franchise and for everything that the franchise has done for him over the past 8 years, I think is really disrespectful. I don't get why guys really get behind that trade and they hate on the general managers and the owners because they are going in a different direction. If a team's going in a different direction, you have to be thankful and happy that they even gave you the direction in the first place. They gave him a shot 8 years ago to be the best player he could be. So why is he still trashing them when they gave him a shot? I mean, it's pretty disrespectful on their behalf, or on DeMar DeRozan's behalf. And Kawhi Leonard as well, he was kind of, last season he got injured and he was talking about how the Spurs and him didn't have a great connection anymore. He wasn't even showing up for practice when he got hurt, and he wasn't even communicating with the coach, Pop. He wasn't even communicating with him to tell him when he would be back or anything like that. But at the same time, I don't think Kawhi Leonard ever came out and said, hey, I'm totally against the Spurs. There was signs of it. He definitely, it was told by the media that these things were happening, but he never came out and said, hey, just trash the team that built me up. So I think it's pretty disrespectful on the behalf of Demar Derozan, and we'll see where it goes from here. Another key point from that is DeMar DeRozan now is getting coached by the Bill Belichick of the NBA. The best coach, in my opinion, in the NBA is Greg Popovich. So you get an opportunity to work with the best coach in the NBA. You got a franchise that is continuously fighting for championships. They're continuously always up there looking for rings, and they're always fighting for rings every single year. They're always there. So why are you complaining about going to one of the best franchises in the NBA from when you're coming from the Toronto Raptors, who rarely are in the championship, who rarely make the playoffs? And I understand that. One thing that I have to take it back a step. One thing that I do understand is how he felt like they were unloyal. And I'm sure it's easy for a person to feel that way when you're with someone for 8 years and then they want to head in a different direction. It's easy to feel that. I know that feeling. But you can't just hold your head down because they want to go in a new direction and follow a new lead. This is what sports and business is all about. And if you're not one of the guys like LeBron James or a Tom Brady in the NFL, or literally a top tier, one of the best players in your sport, you really have no say in where you get traded. You can get traded at any moment. You could be on another team tomorrow. So you have to be able to sign a contract. You have to be able to pick your battles. You have to be able to find out what is best for the team overall and quit being so selfish. And you know what? My opinion to DeMar DeRozan probably doesn't matter, but I think he should definitely think about what he has said and apologize to both teams on the behalf of himself, because they both deserve to be able to chase the direction they want to go. So I hope that it all works out, and I hope that DeMar DeRozan has a good season. I'm not trashing him at all. I just think that his words were disingenuous and disrespectful to both franchises. So my final point here is, when you're an NBA player or when you're in a business, it doesn't even have to be sports. If the business wants to go in another direction, to pursue what they think is best, you have to be able to bounce with that and roll with the punches. You have to be able to, you have to be able to pick your head up and move on. So I hope that he does that, and I hope that both teams have a great season. It'll be a crazy, crazy NBA year this year. I'll talk a little bit about it more here at the end when I talk about LeBron coming to LA. But a lot of teams have made some great moves, and I hope that it all works out. It'll definitely be a great season, and I look forward to it. So the next topic here that I'm going to talk about is the t-shirts that I'm selling. I got a couple t-shirts that I've been selling this past week. When I was back in Iowa, I sold about 35 t-shirts, and I still got about maybe 40 more. So if you guys are interested in buying t-shirts, here's a little display of what they look like. Just got the logo. I got white and black. So if you guys are interested in that, you can contact me on Instagram at Jake Rarrett, or you can contact me on my Gmail, which is warriorsethjake@gmail.com. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know. I got all sizes. I even got big sizes like 2XL, and I can look into youth sizes as well. If you guys are into that. So just let me know. I got a lot of shirts here to sell. So I'm thankful for the supporters out there who have bought shirts already. And it's all going to a great cause. All of these shirts are to promote my podcast, for one. I'm not really making a lot of money off of it. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm not making a lot of money off of it. That's not the point of these shirts. The point of the shirts are to promote my podcast, for people to see the name and to want to, and they're curious of what it is. So they go out and search for it. So that's the main point of the shirts. With the little money that I am making off of it, all of the support and all of the fundraising is going to this podcast right here to make things better. Whatever I need, new equipment, anything like that, it will all go towards that. So I thank you guys for the support. Like I said, if you guys want to get a shirt, hit me up, put your order in, and we will get that on the roll. I've been shipping out shirts. I've been hand delivering them. So either way, I'll find a way to get it to you, and we'll go from there. So the next topic that I want to talk about today is another thing that I am doing to promote and build this podcast besides the shirts. This next week or over the next 2 weeks, maybe, I'm talking to sponsors and marketing agents to further this podcast. So the sponsors, and a lot of people ask me this, especially back home where podcasting isn't as big of a thing. They always ask me, how do you make money off of a podcast? So I'm going to explain it to you guys a little bit. Podcasting isn't something that you can get completely rich off of, because unless you are a person like Joe Rogan or someone who has a huge following, but podcasting is something you can make money off of. And how you do that is you have sponsors, different businesses, different brands or different clothing lines, different things like that, who pay you to put out an ad, almost like a commercial on your podcast. So this week I'm talking to sponsors, and they would be willing to pay me per episode, and then they would also pay they'd give me a promotion code to use when you buy something from them, say like promo code Jake, and it would give the buyer 20% off. And then every time someone uses that promo code, I would also get a little bit of incentive. So sponsors are a huge thing for podcasts. That's the next thing that I'm doing to pursue this podcasting, to hopefully make a little bit of money and keep working and growing it. So this week, like I said, I'm talking to sponsors and marketing agents as well are great. They're another way that can help you make money through a podcast. And how they do that is they broaden your audience, and they help you expand by social media marketing, by marketing through different ways of talking to people, conferences, different things like that. So basically what a marketing agent would do is just help me market my podcast and get it out to the masses, which is something that I'm really working on doing in order to pursue this line of work and excel my craft. So like I said, in the next couple of weeks, a couple big things should be happening for me on this podcast. And I thank you guys for continuing to listen and your continued support. And I hope that you guys continue to watch every episode. And that's another thing that a lot of people ask me is, when would I have time to sit down and watch a 30-minute or an hour and 30-minute episode? And, I thought a lot about that. And I'm glad that people do take time out of their day to listen. But here's a couple options, and here's a couple different ways that I initially got into podcasting, was listening to podcasts during these times. So one of the things that I used to do was I used to work in a warehouse where you could listen to headphones all day. So I'd put in headphones and listen to Joe Rogan or Joey Diaz podcasts, and I would basically it would make time go by so fast, because you have a 2-hour episode or an hour and 30-minute episode, and you just continue to work while you're listening to this, and it made time go by because 2 hours would be gone like that. So that's one time you can listen. If you are allowed to listen to headphones during work, podcasts are a great thing to listen to. The second time when a lot of people listen to podcasts are driving. The daily commute for a lot of people to work is around 20 to 40 minutes. So if you are commuting for that amount of time, you could put on a podcast, kind of like a talk radio show that you listen to in the morning, and listen to that. So that's another great way to listen to it. The third time that a lot of people listen to podcasts is while they're traveling. Besides driving, while you're traveling, say you go like I just did, I traveled by airplane. I downloaded 4 different podcasts and I listened to them all on the way there and a couple on the way back. So, there's a lot of great a lot of great times to listen to podcasts, and I'm glad that people are taking time out of their day to listen to me and listen to what I have to say and my opinions. So I thank you guys for that. The last thing that I kind of want to touch on here today, and I actually have two more topics, but this is one of the last main topics here, is the Lebron murals that are painted around LA. So if you guys follow me on Instagram or Snapchat, I posted a couple different pictures of murals that I've gone to that have been painted around the city of LA. And so I'm going to try to get the pictures up right around on this video, right around here. So if I could do that, thanks to Mikey, if you could get those pictures up for the viewers to see. But if not, I totally understand. It's hard to edit a picture into a picture, but we'll try and get that done here for you guys. So there's murals that have been painted around LA of LeBron, because LeBron James just got traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. And the thing about LeBron coming to LA is, one, you have the best player in the world, arguably the best player in the world, coming to your city. So there's going to be a lot of hype behind that. There's going to be people out there who are happy, who are painting these murals, who are definitely artists, who are people who are in love with the game, who are people who love LeBron. But there's only one problem with that. And it shouldn't be a problem, but it is. It's a sad problem with this world today, is that people want to vandalize it. People are LeBron haters or Laker haters or whatever their thing is they are vandalizing these murals that artists are putting a bunch of their time and money into. So it's pretty depressing to see. But the crazy thing is the one mural that I seen. It was over here. It was Baby Blues Barbecue, I'm pretty sure is where the mural was painted, and it was down in Venice, over by Venice Beach, which is on the coast, and it was LeBron, and it said King of LA. And so all these Kobe fans, well, I guess I shouldn't make assumptions, but what a lot of people think it is all these Kobe fans are tired. They don't want Kobe's legacy to be bashed and have a new quote unquote King of LA. So they went and took paint cans and threw it all over this mural. So I hope to have some pictures up for you guys. But the night that I went and took pictures with it was the night that it got vandalized. It was really crazy. I don't know, maybe hours after I left, this happened overnight. And so what that artist did is he covered it all up. After it being vandalized multiple times, he decided to cover it up because he was tired of people destroying his work and having to correct it all the time, which is totally understandable. You know, at some point you got to realize that people don't want your work and that your work should be more important than someone covering it up. So I'm not sure if he's going to recreate it somewhere else, but it was a great painting, and I'll try and get some pictures up for you guys, like I said, and I hope the pictures are up. But it was crazy how that same night that I was there, it got vandalized. It was really weird because I took pictures and I posted them on Instagram and Snapchat, and then literally the next morning I had people hitting me up saying, "Dude, did you do this?" I was like, "What? Did I do this? What do you mean?" I was glorifying it. I was happy that it was there. And they sent me pictures of how it was vandalized and how the artist started covering it up. So, you know, it's a sad thing that's going on with this world these days. People try and destroy great things that are being made. But the next mural that I seen was a mural of LeBron looking up to all the greats. I think it was Kareem, Kobe, Magic. He was looking up to them, as in the fact that he was coming into this legacy and that he was trying to recreate something that they once created, this greatness of the Lakers. So I don't understand why this one was vandalized, but this one was vandalized as well. They tried to paint over LeBron in the mural. And the reason why I don't understand why this one was vandalized is because he is looking up to the greats. He is what the artist was trying to convey here was that he is seeing that there's a legacy already and that he's not the king of LA. He is coming up into try and be the king of LA. He's looking up into the greats, and he's looking up at the people that have already had a legacy with the Lakers. So it's kind of disheartening to see these things happen, but I hope that the artists continue to do their work and to continue to build these and paint these murals for people like me who go out and I search for these. I drove 50 minutes to an hour just to see this one mural and take pictures with it. So I hope that artists realize that there's people like me out there, and I hope to down the line have maybe one of these artists on my podcast to talk a little bit more about how they paint these and how it feels when people vandalize their stuff. So I'm reaching out to a couple artists that paint murals, and we'll see what happens, and I hope to have one of them on. And then the final topic here is I just want to talk about people that I have coming on this podcast. So last week, or the last episode that I put out 2 confirmed guests. One of them was a rapper, and the other one was an MLB player. And I've been in contact with both of them, but the MLB player, Scott Schebler, that I plan to have on here in the next couple of weeks, he got injured during a game against St. Louis Cardinals, I believe, and he's on the DL now. So I kind of gave him his space. I didn't want to bother him while he was hurt or injured, but I plan to interview him as well coming down the line here. I've still been in contact with him. We're trying to work out a date. He's still pretty busy with different things, even though he's on the DL, and he's still got to be at games and different things like that. So I hope to have him on here soon, and one of the things that I really want to talk to him about too, as well, is one of the topics that I talked about today with players being traded and how they feel when they're traded. And as many of you know, and some of you may not know, Scott used to play for the Los Angeles Dodgers, and he got traded to the Cincinnati Reds. And I'm not sure how he felt about that or what the feelings were behind that. So I want to ask him about that topic, and I got a bunch of other different questions for him. He grew up in my hometown, so I got some questions for him about that. So we'll go from there, and I hope to have him on, like I said, in the next couple of weeks. And I know you guys are looking forward to it as much as I am, because he's a huge MLB player, and he's great at what he does, and he's very inspirational on chasing his dreams and different things like that, sticking to his goals even when times got tough. So I got him coming on, and hopefully the other rapper named Novette that I've been in contact with. Those are the 2 confirmed guests that I have coming on. But I've also been in contact with 3 other guests. I don't want to release any names yet because we're just in contact. We've just been texting back and forth and sending emails. So I don't have any confirmed dates yet for you guys. But one of them's a music producer. One of them is a acoustic guitar player in a band out here in LA, and the last one is another comedian. So we'll try and keep that rolling. We'll try and keep the guest on. It's nice for me to do these solo episodes to get just my opinion out, but I love doing the guest episodes because it gives you guys a lot more content, more points of views, brings on guests that you guys potentially could look up to and inspire to be. So if I can get them on and you guys could hear their voice, that's one thing that I plan on doing. So with that being said, guys, I just want to thank you guys for tuning into this week's episode of Warriors Embracing the Hustle. And thank you guys again for the support. If you guys want shirts, hit me up on my email or Instagram and we can get those ordered. And stay easy.